Hi Leo, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your October 1st to the 15th, 2021 reading for you. Now I ask if this reading resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds. Letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowl sing as we see what the tarot has to say. Leo, October 1st to the 15th, 2021, Leo. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading, and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides. Fantastic. Okay. So at the bottom we have our root itself. The left-hand side, we have our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the Chariot, which is Cancer energy, if we're born on the cusp with Cancer, or if we have or if we have Cancer energy within our chart, that's going to come through very powerfully at our root. And then we have the Devil, which is Capricorn energy. So if we have Capricorn energy within our natal chart, that again is coming through very powerfully at our root, both of these grounding energies for us. We have the Five of Earth, which is always so interesting, this card. And we have the Messenger of Water, amplifying the Cancer energy. Water sign energies are Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. There we go. And yeah, so here we're being given messages. We're also being given the ability to move within the terrain of our own emotions a little bit more easily than we usually do. So there can be a sense in our inner selves where it's kind of like, you know what? Let me study this. Let me look at this. Let me look at where this reaction is coming from, or let me look at why I'm feeling this way, and let me just go deeper. Now, we can have a tendency to go too deep into things. That starts off our October, most definitely, but there's going to be a need for that emotionally just at this time. So it's going to be very interesting. The beginning of October is going to be actually really, really good for us here, Leo, because it's going to make us curious. We're moving to the Six of Swords. We're taking our knowledge, we're taking what we need, we're moving forward into the unknown. We have Temperance, which is Sagittarius energy. If we have Sagittarius within our natal chart, it comes through at our heart during this time. And we have the Earth sign energy right here of the Pentacles. Earth sign energy is Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, amplifying the Capricorn that is at our root. But also there is a sense of balance and prosperity, and slowly moving towards that prosperity, which is actually going to aggravate us because we're going to think, oh, I need it now. I want this now. But there's something beautiful and subtle that we're building. The Eight of Swords we're going to get too much in our own heads, restrictions, doubts, fears. The Page of Pentacles, it has to do around prosperity, success, but we're also going to be needing to look at things. We're going to need to look at things in a new way. It's going to be very easy for ourselves to see things as limitations and to see certain things as limitations. With the Four of Cups, there's a gift that's going to be coming our way if only we're aware of it. And also, this gift, it isn't going to necessarily feel as a gift. It's going to feel like one more responsibility, one more thing I need to get done, one more thing I need to do. Something like that, where we feel actually more burdened than anything else in the public arena, but it's actually a gift. There's actually something here. It's kind of like when you're in school, right? And you're having all this work to do and you're having all this stuff to do, but it's worth it in the end. That's what it's going to be like. You might not think it's worth it. You're doing all this stuff and you're thinking, wow, I could just, do something else with my time and that would be so much better. But you'll find that it's worth it. And that's what I see here really with the Four of Cups. It's going to be something where you think, oh, if I could just do something else, it'll be worth it. Or if I could just get there faster, take a shortcut. But doing it the proper way, doing it the way that sets down this firm foundation, if not for anybody else, then just for your own mind to be able to process the information and see things in a different light, in a different way, that's going to be so beneficial. So with the Four of Cups, something is coming in. It's going to be not as shiny. It's not going to be as alluring as maybe the quick and easy things, but it's going to be much more meaningful, much more powerful because of the time and the effort it took to manifest it and to move things forward and to embrace that prosperity. Now, let's look at the energy we have to be mindful of during this time. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. It's the moon. So we have to be mindful of our own fear. Now, the Eight of Swords really does show that in the public arena. This is also, Pisces energy. So it can be that we're going to be too quick to be afraid of something. We can get in our own head just a little bit too quickly, especially in the public arena. I'm really seeing this, hitting home there, because everywhere else we're trying to balance. Yes, with the Five of Earth, we have a poverty mentality coming forward, and we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of the doubts and the fears and the hurts and the pains that we carry. But there is this sense here of fear becoming overpowering, and we can really be drawn to fearmongers, people who exasperate that fear within us, or people who we feel a real connection to, not because they're our soulmates, not because they build us up, but because they're our wound mates. They have the same wounds we do. They hurt in the same way, or they are that, particular type of abuse that we're used to. It doesn't have to be physical. It doesn't have to be, even anything really horrendous. It can just be this sense of, of not being enough, or of, never being understood, of always having to be an outsider. And they can build that fear within us, or just that sense of, this is where we have to be, always on the outskirts. It's like, no, we can be in the middle of everything. It's just everything that we need and we want and we desire, because everybody's life path is not the same. Everybody's idea of a great time and fun and, even an idea of the perfect person, they're not the same. And so here we start to realize that. We're starting to realize the complexity of everything. And we're having our subconscious and conscious come together with new understanding, new power, new light, new purpose. So we have to be mindful of the fear that tries to overpower us, that tends to want to drown us down. It then moves us to our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. It's self-mastery. Now, this is the solar plexus chakra. This is our gut reaction to things. This is going to be our sense of, our gut feel, the way our stomach feels. So we might have butterflies in our stomach a lot during this time. We could have all our nerves go to our stomach. So be mindful of that. Be mindful of how you nourish yourself. Be mindful of how you're taking care of yourself. But just listen. Listen to you and put yourself in alignment at your center. Because once your gut is in alignment, you're going to see that everything starts to kind of follow suit. And it leads us here to this intense way to move forward in love. And I love this chariot depiction because, it's Cancer and then it's Leo. And so here with the lion, it always makes me think of Leo. And this is the Lost Forest Tarot. So just the major arcana. So here we have this beautiful coming together of this power and this serenity, but also this focus and this insight and these ideas and the sense of us becoming more through love. And that love is going to be what guides us. Now, we're doing something a little bit differently during this reading. Instead of just talking about the cards, we're also going to be talking about the astrology. So on the 1st of October, which sets the stage for all of October, Mercury is going to be squared Pluto. So we have to remember, we have a tendency to go too deep into things. Now, emotionally, okay, if it's not a woe is me, fear-based, going too deep into something, we're actually going to find that we can take out a lot of toxicity within us by saying, okay, but why? Why do I feel this way? Why am I holding back from this? Why is this, denied for me? Not where I want to be or need to be. And so that's going to be a really great thing. Now, we have to also be mindful not to go so deep into things that bring us a lower energy vibration, because we can very easily, our curiosity can get the better of us. We can start watching a lot of true crime, a lot of murder mysteries, really gruesome ones, a lot of horror films, things like that we're just going to feel drawn to, and it lowers our energy vibration. So we have to be mindful of that. We have to be mindful of the energy that we're surrounding ourselves with and the mindset that we're surrounding ourselves with. So here there is this sense of, yes, on the 1st of October, we dive deep. We dive deep and we dive hard. We have to make sure that we're focusing that energy and we're focusing that gift on what makes us better, not what distracts us or breaks us down. So that's going to be really important. On the 2nd of October, Venus is going to be sextile Pluto. Now, we become very passionate about everything that we love, and we can love everything. So do be mindful of this. There's almost going to be not enough time in the day to be as passionate and go-getting as we want to be. Now, this passion goes for our hobbies, it goes for people. We want to surround ourselves with everything that we love. We will also feel very deeply on the 2nd of October. Everything will just be a bit deeper, cut a bit deeper, be a bit more. And we also have this sensitivity around the first half of October that we have to be mindful of. So making sure that we're not taking things personally, making sure that we're kind of stepping back from things and saying, okay, well, am I processing this correctly? Am I letting old wounds really take hold? Am I staying in a positive mindset? Am I going to think that people are talking negatively about me when I don't know if they are, or even if they are, when it has nothing to do about me? Or nothing to do with me. It's their opinions, it's their energy. Let them spew whatever vile they need to spew. I'm staying in the surroundings of what I love and what I desire and where I need to be. It moves us to the 3rd of October, which Mercury is going to be trine Jupiter. This brings a wider point of view and a really fun outlook. It's kind of like, oh my gosh, I can see this opinion, I can see that opinion, I can see this making sense, I can see that making sense. It's kind of like being a bit adventurous and, wanting to express ourselves in different ways. We can do that through our clothing, our makeup, however it is that we're, even our foods, trying things that are new and different. That's going to be so much fun, and we're really going to want to express that on the 3rd of October. So this is also a great time for planning for the future, for looking at things in a different light, in a different way, and it helps soothe us. It helps us, run things smoothly because we're looking at things through almost a fresh set of eyes. Now, on the 6th of October, we have the new moon in Libra, which brings new beginnings, and we're going to get into that new moon in a different video. But we also have Pluto going direct, which for those of us who are very sensitive, we're going to find that this Pluto going direct has an effect on us for a couple of days after the 6th, but even a couple of weeks. Pluto coming out of retrograde has us leaving behind a fear of letting go, leaving behind a controlling energy. Now, because we have to be mindful of that fear, because we already had fear within the reading, the fact of the matter is that fear is just going to feel comfortable for us. It's going to be someplace that we like being because we think, okay, if I can plan for the worst, then I can be comfortable or excited when the best comes. And it's actually going to be the opposite. It's like if we're always planning for the worst, it's not that we are going to be really excited when the best comes. We're going to think, okay, when's the shoe going to drop? When's everything going to fall apart? Why is everything always so hard for me? And we can really get in this negative mindset that tears us down. But with with Pluto coming direct, what we're going to find is that we have this strong feeling and strong desire of ambition and focus and this need for empowerment. And that doesn't have a place within fear. Yes, we have to be mindful about things. Yes, we shouldn't be foolish, but we also shouldn't be dragging ourselves through the mud. That's just not going to be helpful. We need to be keen on challenging ourselves. We need to look at things as in a, how is this going to make me better? How is this pushing me out of my comfort zone? What is this going to get me in the long run? Because there are some fantastic things out there for us. Now, on the 7th of October, Venus is going to move into Sagittarius energy. Now, this brings us a live and let live attitude, but it also brings us an attitude of don't you dare tell me what to do, which, depending on how we're feeling, how high energy vibration we are, how low energy vibration, we could really just be a little bit testy this day. If we can take the day off, I don't know if it's a weekend or a weekday, but, if we can just take this time to look at ourselves, to embrace peace, or to just, stay nice and calm, go for a walk, meditate, do something that we love, that would be excellent. That would be absolutely excellent for the 7th of October. And also, if we can get everybody to leave us alone. If we can say, you know what, this is your responsibility, this is your job, I'm going to go and do me, and I'm just going to embrace the beauty of being me, without any responsibilities, anybody wanting me, anybody needing me. That can be absolutely impossible for some of us, but for others of us that can do it, do it. I mean, for everybody who can't, if you can, absolutely go for it. On the 8th of October, the sun is going to be conjunct Mars. This brings us a hero's energy. This brings us an energy of, I can do everything. I've got this. I'm shining bright. I can conquer it all. We also have a bit of a hot temper during this time, so do be mindful of that. On the 9th of October, Venus meets with the moon in Scorpio, and this is super cool because this opens up our third eye chakra, bringing an intense insight and awareness into what we want. This is a time where we just feel more connected, and this is called the gate of creativity. So if you have anything creative that you want to do, that you've been thinking of starting, the 9th of October is really the time to do it. Also, with Mercury conjunct Mars during this time, we're going to be quick-minded, quick-witted, quick of reflexes. We're really going to be on point. We can be a bit sharp-tongued, and we're not going to sugarcoat anything. So just be mindful of that. Be it, you have to remember, nobody's going to sugarcoat anything for us on the 9th of October either. So, well, it's actually going to be a bit of a weird balance because we're going to have the third eye opening up energy of the gate of creativity, which again is for everyone. And people will be more mindful with their words. But there's also going to be this feeling with Mercury conjunct Mars, like, if you need to hear it, I'm going to tell it to you. Like, I'm not going to hold back. We feel it ourselves, others are going to feel it, so we just have to be mindful of it. And again, we have this sensitivity, we have this fear coming forward. We're going to take the negative and blow it way out of proportion, Leo. So we have to be mindful of that. And not let that take away from our creativity, take away from the insight of the third eye opening, and not let everything wound us. So that's going to be really important. Now, on the 10th of October, Saturn becomes direct. We become more focused on our responsibilities and getting the job done. This is a really great time for getting the job done because we're really down to earth. We're more aware of our limitations, which you would think would be a bad thing, but it's not. We're aware of where we get overwhelmed, what we're not really good at, and so we'll play towards our strengths, being mindful of what we're not strong at, and maybe even being able to delegate that to other people. Being able to say, well, look at all that I've done, or look at all that I've gotten accomplished. You're really great at this. Can you help me do X, Y, Z? Can you, figure out this and that? And because we have this kind of down to earth, go-getting attitude, people are going to be more willing than not to help. Not everybody, but most people are. We're really good at looking at our long-term goals and becoming more clear and practical about a way to get to those goals, about, how we succeed and how we achieve. On the 13th of October, Venus is going to be sextile Saturn. This is time to be around family and friends and just people that make us feel cozy and loved and, really embrace our hearts and our souls. We're going to be very self-sacrificing during this time, so we have to be mindful of what we're sacrificing for. If that person will accept it or not accept it, respect it, or if they won't. And so we just have to be mindful about that because we can be self-sacrificing for what we love, like let's say with work, with people, but we have to be mindful that it's being reciprocated, okay? That people are respecting it. On the 15th of October, which is where we end, the sun is going to be trine Jupiter, and this is fantastic. It gives us luck and generosity and happiness and a larger-than-life attitude, a larger-than-life sense of success and fun and beauty. This can bring intense spiritual awakening and love for sharing knowledge and discovery and just, really feeling this communal sense of I've discovered this. Let me share it with you. This has been so wonderful for me. Let me open up the door for everybody else. Everybody's going to be feeling this way, and it's just going to be this beautiful sharing of knowledge. We have to make sure that we're not being too generous with giving away, too much to anybody else, and also not too generous with ourselves either, because we can be very overindulgent. So do be mindful of that. With the Chariot, we're opening up our hearts, we're guiding our souls, we're saying, this is what I want from life. And we're doing it in a warrior way, which is very fire sign energy. It's very much who we are, Leo, to say that there's determination and there's focus and there's insight and there's power here, but I get to move forward in love. And that's going to be really important for us. What do I love? What do I need? How am I grounding myself? What do I desire within my life? And it brings us to the devil. And it brings us to really looking in the eye, the things that have held us back. Now, it's addictions, or it's the coping mechanisms that we developed through childhood that aren't healthy for us. We have coping mechanisms that we find for things, right, that aren't celebrated by people, and those are drugs and alcohol, or, acting out and rebellion and all these things that we can get in a lot of trouble for by law and just by people disapproving of us. But there are also really good they're not good coping mechanisms. They're negative coping mechanisms that people see as positive. So we can become really healthy eaters, but to the point where it gives us anxiety. If somebody says, do you want to share a bag of chips with me? And we think, oh my gosh, I can eat one chip or maybe two chips, but I definitely can't eat more than that. We start to become too clean of eaters. We start to exercise too much. We start to, become too restrictive in one way or another, or too hyper-focused. And whenever that comes into play, that's never good. But because people see us as, wow, they exercise so much, like, look how fit they are, or wow, they eat so healthy, I could never eat that healthy, we get praised for it. And we take it as praise, the praise that we need to feel validated within our lives. And as all human beings crave that praise, because we're, communal beings. So here with the devil, it's coming through any angle that that takes away our power. Anything that takes away our power, that takes away our voice, that takes away our insight, that takes away our desires. These are going to be things that we need to be mindful of. Whether it's getting a certain person's approval, whether it's, doing a job just because it was told to us that that's what you were supposed to do. It's starting to see things and say, but that's not me. Why is it that I have to change who I am just to be what others expect? And so when the devil comes in, sometimes it's a little bit harsh. And I always think it's very harsh that Capricorn gets the devil card. But it's very much being connected with our earth, being connected with ourselves. And as we're finding out who we are, which I think we know when we're really little, and then we lose it somewhere along the way, as we, have other people's thoughts and inputs placed on us, then we lose it. We lose it until we connect with our earthly self again, till we connect with what we truly desire, not how we can escape or what will make everybody else happy. And so at the root is us openly and honestly and truthfully, and it leads us to the 5 of earth. And you have, a nursing rabbit here. You have babies, in their little den. You have the skeleton of a rabbit, and you have a sickle right here. You have a quartz, you have the flowers, you have beauty and death, and you have new life and becoming. And yet it's everything that we fear. It's everything we fear within the world. Our world fears growing old, which is sad because it's a privilege not everybody gets to. Our world fears staying naive, being too young. Our world fears everything. And so what are we just supposed to live in fear? Poverty of self and soul and love and acceptance? Or are we to say that this is my earthly right, and I live as I embrace the earth and my prosperity and myself, and I become a student of my heart and my soul and what I love, and how I dive deeper and deeper into me? She has fins. That's not fins. It's webs. I don't know what it's called right now on her fingers, so that she can swim deeper, so that she can swim better. And that's what we're going to find, that there's a part of us here in our inner selves that is adapting to being able to open up our hearts and open up our souls and say, but this is what I need, and this is what I want, and this is what I desire, and this is who I am. And we dive deeper and deeper. We see more openly and more honestly everything. We become the students of our hearts, of inspiration. We find inspiration and guidance in the most unlikely places. And it brings us to our emotional self. We're taking all our knowledge, all our understanding, and we're moving forward. We're saying there's more here than meets the eye. There's more that I'm going towards. We're being protected by our angels, guided by our angels. But the road isn't going to be easy. The emotions are going to be deep. Things are going to be more complex than we had thought. And it moves us then to finding balance, to finding harmony, to embracing our heart in a very, very real way. And maybe even a way, Leo, that we're not that comfortable with. We think, what the heck is this about? Why do I have to go this deep? Why do I have to see this much? Why do I have to understand this much about me? Other people get to just float through life on the surface. They don't seem fazed by anything. The fact of the matter is we don't know what happens behind closed doors. But the fact of the matter is that if you're on this journey, if you've found this channel, if you've, come this far, you want more. And that's never going to be on the surface. That's always deeper. It moves us then to slowly and steadily building something and protecting something and moving towards a goal that is maybe even bigger than us. Maybe we don't know exactly how to define it or what words to use to describe what we want and where we're headed, but we know it's more. We're slowly and steadily getting there, and that's awesome. We have to give ourselves credit where credit is due. And we are looking towards something bigger, something greater, something more in alignment with what we want, but also something very down to earth. Our hearts are looking for that down to earth protection. The Knight of Pentacles, he's not staying stagnant, but he is the slowest moving knight. It's not going to happen overnight for us. It's not going to be instantaneous. This is a lot of work put in to our prosperity and our success and our bounty, and it moves us to the Eight of Swords. It moves us to the public arena, doubts and fears restricting us in one way or another, being held back, being too much in our own heads, overthinking, overanalyzing. It starts with Mercury squared Pluto on the 1st of October. And yes, it hits us in the best possible way, but it can also hit us in the most insecure way. It makes us feel as if we can't move forward until we're absolutely sure, and we'll never be absolutely sure. We'll always have more to discover, more to understand. We will always make mistakes and misstep. That's just part of life. But it's part of our life. And we get to be proud of who we are and where we're headed and what we're discovering. Even if we've made mistakes along the way. Even if it's been hard. It's opening up our hearts and our souls and seeing that we're not caged. We're not caged. We're not held back. We're not denied anymore. That we get to have what we love and what we want. That we get to open up the door in a very real way. We take the blindfold off because in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, this is a person blindfolded and bound, surrounded by 8 swords that feel like a cage but aren't. It's only because they cannot see and they cannot feel. Because they are terrified of what they will discover if they break free. Now it is time to break free. And then it brings us to being students of our prosperity. There's something that we're learning here. Inwardly, externally, this is new experiences, but this is a sense of being able to embrace those new experiences without being afraid, without being overwhelmed, without contradicting ourselves or doubting ourselves or saying just that we can't. And we're going to see that we start to move forward. We start to go after something bigger and better, but we are a student. We are learning. We are putting different things together. Maybe things that we thought, oh, well, that couldn't go together, or that wasn't right, or, it can't be like that. And now we're saying, well, why the heck not? Why the heck can't I push these barriers? Why the heck can't I look at things in a different way? And then we start to study our skills, our talents, what makes us rich, what makes us powerful. Because it's different for each and every one of us. For some people, reading the tarot would be terrible. It would be awful. They would hate it. For others, it's a dream. So why can't we embrace our different talents, our different dreams, our different callings of the soul, and let ourselves shine? It brings us then to the Four of Cups, something that is a gift. It doesn't feel like a gift. It isn't wrapped up all shiny the way that we want it. It's dull. It's plain Jane, type of thing. And yet, it's astounding. It's like getting a cup that looks like a handmade bowl and thinking, well, what the heck is that? We in Arthurian legends and in, they talk about the Holy Grail, if we're going to talk about, like, the Bible and stuff like that. But in Arthurian legends, they go after, and that's where, these cards come from, the Llewellyn Tarot. They go after the Holy Grail, and it's always this cup that's, shiny and spectacular and gilded. And it's supposed to be the cup that was used at the Last Supper by Christ. But wouldn't it make sense that it's a cup that looks like a bowl? Something made by hand. Something unremarkable that just becomes extraordinary. That is what this is. It's something unremarkable that becomes extraordinary. There's an awareness. It can even be the awareness of the unremarkable becoming extraordinary within our lives. Now, it brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of, and that's the Hierophant. That's being mindful of power having to be absolute power. There has to be this give and this take. We're going to want things to be absolute. Why? Because we're Leos and we like it like that. But this give and this take is going to be so important for us. It moves us to our subconscious chakra energy, and that's angels and masters, angels and spirit guides. This is the soul star chakra located 6 inches above our crown. This is us falling in alignment with our angels, with divinity, with, our guides forward, falling in alignment with this protective beauty around ourselves. And knowing that we are protected during this time, it moves us then to our subconscious rooted self. And that is temperance. That's balance. Balance is at our heart. It's now at our root. And it's so important. It's understanding that the smallest can be the mightiest, and the ones that look the strongest can be the most protective. And it's about the balance. It's about the insights. It's about one skill is used in one place and one skill is used in another. But that we need each in order to embrace the strength of our world, in order to embrace the strength of ourselves. It then brings us to our subconscious inner self, which is the craftsman of air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. There's a sense of seeing things, embracing the words and the insights and the power of it, being able to put things together in a way that you hadn't expected, in a way we thought impossible. But now we start to see the possibilities. We start to have things connecting, and we start to feel empowered by that. It brings us then to our subconscious inner self, emotional self, which is the sleepers. This is judgment. We're seeing ourselves rise out of darkness, answering a call, answering a passion, answering a power. And we rise into our greatness. Why we are here on this earth. We're stepping into that more and more. And this time, from the 1st to the 15th, really amplifies it. The sense that we're stepping out of darkness, the sense that we're moving towards something more. And it brings us then to the 4 of Swords. We need to respect. We need to respect the hurt and the pain and the disappointment and the anger and the upset that we have been through. We need to respect our journey. So often we, as human beings, we just want to run from it. We want to say, oh no, I was always perfect, or oh no, I always had it figured out, or you know what, I'm just going to leave that past behind because it was nasty and horrible and hard, and I don't want to. I don't want to remember. I don't want to look at that again. There's no part of us that is worthy of shame and despair or disdain. We might not always be the proudest of everything. We might think, you know what, those were roads that I wish I hadn't have walked. But they were my roads. This is my power. This is me. And I don't get to hide any of me away. I love me as I was, as I am, and as I become. All right, Leo. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the beauty of this time. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Leo.